and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast. Good to be back. Good evening, everybody in the chat. Good evening, Anne-Marie, and good evening, Princess Leia.
Evening, Andy.
Yeah, what a weird game that was. But you know something, we'll get straight into it before start reading some of the comments. Always a pleasure to see all you guys in the chat. Listen, business end of the season. Paddy, I can't take you serious like that, mate.
Shut up. Do you know, before you get into the match, actually, can I even ask you two and the guys in the chat, what is it with our players who had their fingers taped together? Gvardiol now is the latest one. Diaz, Foden, they all have their fingers taped together like their fingers are broke. What's going on?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I just thought today, I think Gvardiol was very, very, very good today. This is my opinion. Right, this is my opinions. Haaland very good when he come on. I felt Kovacic was very, very good when he come on. Gvardiol I thought was excellent today, and another very, very good goal. Akanji very, very good. Ake second half was very good. The rest was way off. I'm not seeing Kyle Walker play that bad for a while. I'm not seeing Bernardo play that bad for a while. But do you know something? The reality check is, although Arsenal won today, they didn't play well either today. So it's about results. It really, really is about results. What was your thoughts on overall, Anne-Marie, today?
The 3 points was always the most important thing today, regardless of performance. What I will say is I think, the number of games we've played in the last couple of weeks has caught up with us. And the fact that we've got a week off now between today's game and Wolves, I think will make a big difference to us. I know we think these players should be able to play consistently well, but the number of games, even today they said in the commentary that it was Alvarez's 50th game this season.
That alone's just bonkers, isn't it?
Of course it is, and if it is that for Alvarez, it's going to be the same for a lot of the others as well. So I appreciate the fact that the tiredness has caught up with them, and we can just hope that a week off now, a week of just training and resting, will make a difference to them, and we'll be all set and ready, firing for Wolves on Saturday evening.
Yeah, Paddy, do you feel that we've got to win all our games? Because listen, I'll be honest, I didn't think Arsenal would keep up with the pace. But although they didn't play well today, they scored 3 goals. They celebrated like they'd won the league at the end again. And rightly so. I'm not taking that away from them. But it's Battle of the Bravest now, isn't it?
I just think first of all, with the team tiredness, because I said to you probably when we were chatting during the week, that we had a week off and we'd be up front against Brighton, and we were. This game now has come 3 days after it. It does take its toll, you know what I mean? In terms of recovery and stuff like that. But I was saying to Anne-Marie before we come on air, if we had drew that game today, or we had lost that game today, we'd have left Arsenal off the hook. But the mere fact we've applied pressure, and they don't like pressure, and you can see that, you can see the actual relief on their faces today that they got that result, and the way they went over to the fans and celebrate and stuff like that. I can't think of any of our players doing that. But I think they will crumble. I definitely think so. The mere fact that we keep hounding them down, I think the pressure will definitely tell.
No, I'm going to backtrack, mate. As I say, I felt that they would go away. I thought Liverpool would be in it for the long run with us. But listen, fair play to Arsenal. You know, they still there. It's what we've watched 3 games for them, 4 games for us. Was you expecting them right till the end, Anne-Marie?
I think after last season, I think possibly I was, because they will have learnt a lot from last season, because they definitely bottled it then. But you know, they've still got some tough games ahead of them. You know, they're at home to Bournemouth on Saturday for the early kick-off, and then I think the following week they're away to United. I'm just not sure who they've got last game of the season, but it's in, you know, the way we want it. It's in our hands. If we do our job, it doesn't matter what anybody else does, and that's got to be the most important thing. Because it's down to us.
Liverpool are out of it now, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've.
But I think Arsenal and City I think both teams are one result away from losing the league. Whoever who's going to be blinked first.
Paddy, I can't get past this, mate.
I'm not going back to that shiny laptop. This is better than the iPad.
He says good evening. Who thinks Josko immense City player in future years? I must admit, although he's not a left back, you know, he's clearly not a left back. I think he's been one of the success stories the past couple of months. He's putting a shift in. Like today, at one point, who was it who crossed it? I forget who crossed the ball in, and he was there for a header. And it was the furthest man forward. I just feel he's not only settled down into that role now, Marie, but he's also learning the Pep way, if you like, you know.
Yeah, but it's like we've said all along. You don't just. There's very few players will just walk into that team and fit in right away. You know, it takes time because they're being asked to play in a specific way. You know, we saw it with Grealish in his first season. There was nothing really to write home about with Grealish in his first season.
No.
But the second season, it was like a completely different player. And I think it's the same with a lot of them. And that's why I think with the likes of Doku as well, we have to give him time. And for me, looking at him today, Doku had a nightmare in that first half. And I think it's partly because he plays better on the left than he does on the right. And I thought Walker had a nightmare in the first half.
I thought he had a shite game.
To be honest.
Yeah, we'll speak about Kyle a little bit. Jack says, "Hi, pal. Shite performance, but cracking result. Just needed 3 points. That is bang on the money for me. And as I said earlier, it's all about the results now. You know, it is the battle of the bravest. But yeah, I thought Kyle overall, Anne-Marie was. It was a. In fact, Jack mentions today. I got to talk about Kyle Walker. He looks lost. Gets done by relegation fodder players. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Kyle Walker, but today he wasn't great. But I don't know what it was. We seem. I wouldn't say he looked lost. I think it's a little bit. The Doku Walker doesn't work. Walker, Bernardo works. I thought Kyle was a little bit better when Bernardo went over to the right. Jack got kicked up and down today, as he always does. Thought Kevin De Bruyne was, yeah, but in it great where we have so many off form. No, I wouldn't say off form. A bad day at the office, but we've come away with 3 points. So Again, Arsenal would look at that, Anne-Marie, and they'd go, you know, something. City didn't play that well, but they've done it because they know how to do it.
Yeah.
So again, we're just batting it back over to them now.
But it's the one thing I've said all along is that whether it be Liverpool or Arsenal, who was up there with us, we've got the experience that they don't have. Mm-hmm. We've been in this position time and again where we you know, the old saying, we fight to the end and we get what we deserve. And for me, I've said right from the start of the season, what I want is 4 in a row. And I'll take that above everything else.
No, absolutely. Part of Oak says, Paddy, we need to talk about Nathan Ake. He never lets us down, does he, that lad? And for me, player of the season has got to be between Nathan Ake and Akanji, because I don't know what it is about Akanji. It's just, it's got to be between them two. They're Rolls Royce of players, and we don't realise sometimes.
You have to throw Foden in there as well for player of the season. You do, because
I agree. Yeah,
you know, you look at what has he scored. He scored over 20 goals this season for us.
Yeah,
you know, and there's been games where we'd have been stuffed without him.
I agree. Sir Alan says, good evening, pal. We were all over the place, but one. Never seen lose the ball so much. Absolutely. And again, but it's the business end of the season. And I say, Arsenal were the same today. I watched them and I thought, how the hell was they 3-0 up? Unbelievable, but they've dug in. So it's just us two now, Paddy, innit?
That's it. I'm going back to actually when I was watching the game today, I was thought to myself, if you really buy him, or like say if you were going, you'd be paying close to 100 million for him. Like he's that good. Like the centre back, left back, I'd say he would succeed in midfield the way he plays.
Yeah, Keith says Jack straight with the negatives. I don't disagree, but we got the job done. I don't think Jack was being negative. To be fair, I thought he summed it up. I thought the last fixtures were there. Then it wasn't. I thought it was summed up pretty well by Jack. To be fair, it's not a case of being negative. It's a discussion show, and in a bit we are going to be talking as well about these charges. Have you heard the strong rumours going around that there? So that's well worth a chat as well. Good evening, Charlotte. Arsenal was shocking. Yeah, they was, and if we'd have played a decent side today, would have probably been a couple of goals down. But you know something, we wasn't, and we didn't, and we won.
To be fair, just because I know we haven't actually spoken about it, but going back to the FA Cup semi-final last week, we could have been out. We could have been dead and buried if Chelsea had taken their chances. And thankfully they didn't, and we got one chance and we took it.
And that's all it is. You know, I'm not saying we was bad at defending today. We was all right, but they could have put. You all right, Paddy?
Okay, I was just reading that comment in blind with glasses. Can the guys in the chat not hear me, no?
It's very, very low, mate.
All right, I'll be back in a minute. I've won the laptop with Master's iPad.
Okay, pal, no worries. Yeah, Charlie said everyone will drop points. I'm not so sure that Arsenal will. I'll get the remaining fixtures up, Anne-Marie. But are you? Do you think we've got to win all ours now?
Yeah, I think we do. You know, like I said, I don't know. The only fixture I don't know for Arsenal is the last game of the season. I know they've got Bournemouth and they've got United.
Yeah.
But I don't know who they played last day of the season.
So Arsenal have got left. They've They've got Bournemouth next Saturday. That's a 12:30 kickoff. That's at the Emirates. Then they're away to United on Sunday the 12th at 4:30. Then they've got Everton at home on the 19th of May.
And Everton are safe now anyway. So
that's their remaining game. So I'd fancy them to beat Bournemouth.
Yeah, but then Bournemouth beat Brighton 3-0 today.
Yeah, but Brighton are not functioning how we know Brighton at the moment, are they? But you'd listen. You'd expect them to go to Old Trafford and listen. I'd expect 11 of us in the chat, you, me, Paddy, to go to Old Trafford and give United a game and probably get a result.
Yes,
they are absolutely shocking. So we've got to go on the premise that Arsenal will win all their remaining fixtures,
which means we have to because of the goal difference.
Absolutely. So our remaining fixtures are. Let me get it to be for
I can tell you if you want: Wolves, Fulham, Tottenham, and West Ham.
Oh, did you add him and I got rid of him?
I've just added him.
No, can you hear me now?
Oh, loud and clear, Paddy.
Hey, say.
Yeah, so we've just been going over Arsenal's fixtures there, Paddy. You know, they've got Bournemouth at home. They've got, who did I say now? I've just got it. United away,
and Everton at home.
Everton at home. So we've got to take it that they are going to win those fixtures. Yeah.
Well, Everton's a dead duck because they're safe.
Yeah, they'll beat Bournemouth at home, and I just said even we'd pick an 11 with you in it, and we'd beat United at Old Trafford.
Well, but you never know. We're a bit of a Jackson Hyde team, aren't they?
Because you wouldn't have thought they'd have got anything against Liverpool.
No.
Yeah.
So for us, we've got Wolves at home, Fulham away, and then Spurs away. Listen, I'm quite confident we'll beat Spurs away, and then we finish off with West Ham at home. So I do think we've got to win our remaining fixtures.
I think the week in London will be tough for us, Andy. Fulham and Spurs 3 days later.
Well, it's a bit of a London last three, and well, it is a London last three. Fulham, that you know something, that won't be an easy game.
No, absolutely not. And unless what they used to say in old money is the Fulham are on the beach, they're safe, but
yeah,
you never know. Like, no, I mean, there's too much football yet.
No, there is, and there is still plenty of football to go. Blue Heart says, I'm not thinking about anything else but trying to win all our remaining games. Come on, City. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Blue Heart.
Sir Alan, thank you very much, mate. We need to win every game to win the league. Absolutely nailed on, mate. DC, how's Stan? Hopefully, Stan... have I read that right, or was I drunk? That Stan is hopefully going to
hopefully be with us next week.
Hopefully, Stan will be, and we are passing our love, your love on to him. We really are. Yeah, so we've got to do that. Orange Blue, Paddy sounds like he's underwater. Can't hear a word. You're all right now. Jack says, Kyle Walker was bloody awful. He doesn't intercept nothing, left us vulnerable on many occasions. He did today, mate. But you know, it's a game of it's a team game, and for me, the pluses today, what came on was Cover and Haaland, because Haaland looked. Is it just me or you, Anne-Marie, or did Haaland look a little bit? He had a bit today when he come on.
Yeah, I thought he did, and he took his goal really well. And he looked really up for it when he came on. And I don't think it's bad timing. I love Alvarez. I think he's a grafter, but things just aren't falling right for him at the minute. He loses the ball quite easily, and maybe he just needs a rest. But I think it's promising. It's promising to see Haaland back up and running.
No, I agree. Super City says Walker Doku equals Dumb and Dumber. Never again, please. I get what you're saying with that. Like we spoke about it just at the top of the show, didn't we? Where it just didn't work. To be fair, I think Doku's been playing very, very well the past few weeks. Not on the right,
and coming on as a sub.
Yeah, and I've said that also. He's an impact player. He always gives me whiplash every time I watch him. I'm just like I've had a stroke, as it were. Keith says, spot on, no understanding yet between Doku and Walker makes them both look bad. Yeah, I just think it was a different. Listen, we've got that out of our system. We've got to focus now.
Is that not doing the Pep and he has surely trialed that in training and thought, well, that'll work. Where the majority of us seen as didn't work. As regards Walker, Walker has more good games than he has bad games, and it's very easy to jump on and fill his back. I don't see any comments jumping on Kevin De Bruyne's back in the comments here amongst the chat, and he's a shocker. So and then Alan Smith gives him fucking man of the match.
No, but Alan Smith didn't know the difference between him and Grealish for most of the game. So I don't pay any attention to what they've got to say. If you were given a man of the match performance out today, you'd give it to Gvardiol or Aki.
Yeah. Or a Kanji.
Yeah.
That's some comment there by Blue Heart.
Yeah.
That was a steam.
Well, you read it out then, Paddy.
I can just barely make it out. Bastard, yeah. It's true, we've got some talent at the back. Akanji, 15 million, what a buy. Absolutely. We must have had a ballyclava on when we bought him for 15 million. Because he was a steal.
He was. And again, it just shows you, doesn't it, that what does Stan say?
Different keys for different locks.
Yeah. SOS, good evening, pal. 3 points, all what matters. Martin, the king of Costa Coffee, time to win Eve. What? Are you sure it's coffee on or something else? He also says, if you could all bring in 3 players in the summer, who would we bring in? Paquetá seems to be done. Oh, sorry, why am I calling Paquetá now? It's Paqueta.
What do you call the other fellow that plays in that West Ham team? The Kudus. I take him instead of Paquetá.
I tell you who I do like, and I've just got admiration for him the way he is as a footballer. Jared Bowen at West Ham, I think he's a brilliant footballer.
Yeah, he is.
He gets some good goals. He gets in some brilliant positions.
I tell you who else I like the look of. Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle.
I don't get him, Anne-Marie.
100 million buyout clause. Save me Bolton, 100 million.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it with that Bruno. Give me some rice. He gets booked a lot. I don't see if you was going to bring him for 100 million.
Surely, I don't think he's worth 100 million.
I don't think he's worth, in Paul Merson's words, 100 lira. 100 million lira.
But buyout clause, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
Section says Chris Woods couldn't hit a barn door today. It's a bloody good job anyway. By the way, everyone knows that's Martin's favourite. That's why Martin's asking that question. So it's a great link that. If you could all bring in 3 players this summer, who would you bring in? That's why Martin's asking. Chris Woods. Elliot says, good evening, Elliot. I hope you're okay, my friend. Tiredness today, dry pitch, no fill. Let's not forget Arsenal didn't win 5-0. Winning 1-0 or winning 8-0 win the same points. Absolutely. And that's something else, actually. A couple of the players mentioned, I think it was Josko and
Haaland.
Haaland mentioned that the pitch was really, really dry. Now, I know somebody, when I say in the know, I mean what it's like, and like a dry pitch can affect players. And I take that person's opinion highly because listen, fair play to Forest. It was their tactic. To do that.
What's the difference, Andy? Excuse my ignorance, between the dry pitch and the wet pitch on the players?
A dry pitch is harder. A wet pitch has got more sort of like movement in it, hasn't it? Whereas I'd say a dry pitch is more like the old AstroTurf. You know, when the ball it bounces up and you can't really control it much. So
it's it's harder on the legs, basically, a dry pitch.
Yeah. So it was no surprise that they did something like that, because as I say, they're fighting for the lives themselves, but it just shows you a sign of champions who can overcome it.
That kind of thing will affect our style of play because it stops us zipping the ball in here and there. And you could see that today. The ball was often just a little bit short because there wasn't enough on it.
Told you. Martin says Chris Wood's really good player. Section. Good evening, pal. City not relying on anything but winning their remaining games. Yeah, I'm sure. I've not heard Pep's post-match, but I'm sure Pep will be pretty much saying, "Oh, City ladies, I forgot they was playing tonight. Still 0-0.
It's still 0-0, and it's almost half time."
Good evening, Abdi. United are too poor. Can't depend on the rags. You know something? There's no chance they will get anything against Arsenal. Arsenal will have too much for them. Big Morg says it's the rags, the last game at home of the season. Doesn't matter, mate.
Do you know, 4 finals left, and that's the way the players are viewing it. Like as Hammond says today, he says, "You think too much." He says, "It'll wreck your head." He says, "So go home now, rest, and on the next one." So I think it's us fans are thinking 20 miles down the road. Them players only thinking what's next.
That's always the case, Paddy, that we do. We're looking ahead at what might happen, and they're looking, well, we've got a week now. I can relax my head a little bit. I can relax my body, and then I'll be ready to face Wolves. And that's all they're looking at. They're not looking at Fulham in another week's time or United in a month's time in the FA Cup final. They're just looking at what's in front of them, and it's that one game. That's how they've always taken it.
If United managed to get some, or Bournemouth managed to get something, or who else have they got last? Everton get anything, it's going to be a bonus. I agree, it's got to be all about us. Lebo says, so what about these charges getting dropped? Is that clickbait or wishful thinking? Because I'd love to see the proof that you have seen that the mass media hasn't. First off, mate, clickbait, we don't need to do clickbait on our shows, our channel, because we don't do it for money, profit, or anything. We just do it for fun. If we get one viewer, we get one viewer. If we get 1 million, we get 1 million. It's not about that. And everybody.
Nice to see us attracting a United fan as well to, try and find out a bit of information.
With regards to, you'd love to see the proof that the mass media hasn't. Actually, the mass media are starting to pick up on it. That's why it's worth a talk about tonight. But we will come to that in a bit. So, yeah, listen, you're more than welcome to stay on.
Thank God he typed that in, Andy, because you couldn't hear him from halfway down the table if he was speaking.
No, Patrick. DC says all those teams will roll over and let Arsenal scratch their bellies. We just need to win all like that. Yeah, it's quite common that everyone's saying that, because we have, it's right what Pardo says, we have got 4 difficult fixtures because we put today down as on paper an easy-ish win.
Today was always going to be a tricky game. You only needed to look at what happened last season.
Yeah.
You know, we had last season we had more than our fair share of chances and couldn't put them away. And they hit us on the break towards the end of the game, and that's all they needed to do. So it was always going to be a difficult game today. You know, they're fighting for their lives. They're only 1 point above relegation at the minute. So, you know, it was never going to be a walk in the park today.
No.
I think what most of our matches have been away matches. Like we've been away to Brighton, we're away to Forest, we're at home to Wolves, and then we're away to Fulham, and then we're away to Spurs, and then we're home to West Ham last game of the season. So like we played like 5 matches, 4 of them are being played away from home.
But that's just the way the fixtures have worked out, isn't it, Paddy?
Well, the Spurs was the postponed game, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was only postponed from last weekend. We would have played Spurs had we not been in the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
And that's a great point what Formidable's saying. Ortega could be key to our running. He's a good keeper. Lucky to have him. See, he did another Cruyff turn today, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like there's a problem with Ederson's shoulder after that. You know, it was a 50-50. You know, the Forest player had to go for it, and obviously Ederson did. But yeah, let's not underestimate what a great keeper Ortega is. And word on the street that he's looking to sign a new deal with us, which I'm chuffed about because he deserves to be a number 1 somewhere in.
I think, Andy, when you watch that tackle back, that Forest player goes for Ederson. He doesn't look at the ball. He goes straight for the keeper.
Yeah, it was Bolly, and Bolly was lucky not to get a yellow card, if not sent off today with the number of challenges he put in.
I don't know, to be honest. I just think
that was my big concern today. That after last week's performance by Forest and what they put out to the PGMOL, that they'd get every decision going today.
Well, they definitely clattered Grealish. That you can't mistake that. But like, not every tackle is a yellow card offence. But they did rough Grealish up a bit. There's no, but all teams do that because the only way you're going to get the ball out of Grealish is you have to do that. You have to rough him up. You have to foul him. That's why he's there. As Stan said, he's there for control. You know.
Paddy, read that. Paddy, read that one out, mate.
Was far crash too long? Charges incoming. Angry fuck.
Sorry, mate. I set you up on that one, didn't I?
I know you did. I knew I was teed up for something.
Yeah. So, listen, are you comfortable with the four remaining fixtures we've got, Paddy?
I'm comfortable that we do our job. It doesn't matter a hoot what Arsenal do or what anybody else does. Whoever who turns up against Arsenal, who doesn't. If we do our job, come the end of the season, we're going to be a top of the 3, and nobody can do anything about it. So we're not dependent on anyone to do us a favour. We're only dependent on ourselves to do ourselves.
I agree, especially on the back of what Blue Art says there. United will be saving themselves for the cup final in these final games, make it look like they're the best team in Manchester. There's a lot of truth in that, isn't there, Anne-Marie? They will be, conserving their energy.
Well, they might want to conserve their energy, but I won't be going to Wembley because we're playing them. I had an experience last Sunday that I've never had before.
Sorry?
No, I'll explain. Obviously, you know that I went to... No, but obviously I was at the game last weekend at Wembley and we stayed over. And on Sunday, we went and had breakfast. And as these 4 women 4 of us all waiting to pay for our breakfast. And in front of us was a table. Now, I didn't have a clue who they were supporting or anything until they saw my Gvardiol T-shirt. And then they started being quite offensive, picking on 4 women. And I just thought, if that's a sign of things to come in a month's time, I don't want any part of it. It's a game of football at the end of the day, and we're 4 women, and there was no need to be that abusive towards us. We didn't say anything to them. We didn't say anything to them. Thanks. I'm looking really well tonight. It's a lie, but thank you.
No, but look, so on the back of what you're saying about, you know, people having a go at women, there's the flip side. Somebody saying you look well tonight.
Yeah, and I do appreciate it, Martin.
We're going to be sponsored soon by Specsavers. You're welcome to get a subscription on that. Only joking. Super City says these people desperate for City to get done on charges are actually sick in the head. Scumbags. Do you know how many people would lose their jobs, etc.? Stick to football. Bang on the money, Super City, as always. So you're not going to Wembley. I'm not going to Wembley anyway. Because do you want to know what I prefer? Listen, the reason what, and this is the gospel truth why I am not going to Wembley. I was going to, however, I watched this semi-final in my local pub, and I bumped into an old guy who used to be one of my dad's mates, and he's really, really frail now, Stan. And I promised him that I'll watch the final with him in that pub. I think that is better than a day out spending proper time with somebody who I've not seen for years and years, who was a big influence on who I support and stuff. So,
fair play, Andy, and it'll be a damn sight cheaper than the £8 a pint at Wembley.
Oh, and they have Moretti in there now as well. But no, that's not the reason. So, Stan, if you're watching, I know you watch it sometimes, mate. I've not forgot. We will be there together, mate, watching hopefully a City win. It's nice because I'll get more enjoyment out of stuff like that.
And also, if we win the league and the cup, we'll be the first team to do the double-double. So another little record to be broken. But I think we're more than capable of winning our 4 games. And I've got every confidence in us. I'm hoping that all being well, Dad will get to the last game of the season and see us picking up the Premier League trophy again.
Yeah.
That's my wish.
I just think Fulham and Tottenham are going to be tricky games. We'll have to be honest.
So was today, mate. Today was tricky, and we came for it. We forget how good we are, though, at times, mate. You know, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, it's half. Yeah, it's half
time in the women's game. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, it is. My favourite pundit is actually on the screen there, Izzy Christensen. Still need to get Izzy on there, on here. Super City says, I want Liverpool, United, etc. struggle, but I wouldn't want any of them going out of business and losing staff, etc. The FFP rules are a sham, and we all know it. Yeah. And let's get into that a little bit. So the word on the street, as it were, is that the Premier League and City behind the scenes are trying to get a way out of this situation. And it seems that City will be going for the powers that be, who have been stirring shite, basically, who have been incriminating themselves, slander, and stuff like that. Now, we've me personally, I've always backed Khaldoon and the club when they've said that they welcome an investigation. Khaldoon, I've got 100% faith in. Are you in the same mindset as me, you two, or do you think there's something in it?
Well, can I just say something straight off the bat, like in regards to the Super City's comments about Liverpool and Man United? You wouldn't want to go out of business, but they were the clubs that brought in this legislation and are quite happy to see us go out of business. Now, I know two wrongs don't make a right, but like I don't give two hoots about Man United or Liverpool. Like, don't forget, Liverpool didn't pay their staff or weren't going to pay their staff during COVID. They wanted to furlough them. As regards the 115 judges, right? And this rumour's going around now that about it's being sorted and both parties are trying to get out of it and still look good. If that was a criminal trial, the amount of media coverage and bias that has been shown by several outlets and commentators, Gary Neville, Spitty, I wouldn't even believe Oxford because I don't listen to them. But how would one be expected to have a fair trial when they have turned the whole country against City? How could you get 12 innocent or 12 independent people in a jury that haven't been touched by any story in that? Plus the fact the Premier League says it's an independent panel. It can't be independent when you're paying their fucking wages.
Paddy, was it in our WhatsApp group today when you said something like, basically, I can't remember word for word or anything, but it was, in short, it was something like Spitty and Gary, the people like Gary Neville, they've got a vehicle with Sky Media to basically promote badness against the club and stuff like that. I totally agree. A few years ago, I would have relied on somebody like Micah Richards to back us up a little bit, but he couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. So there is negativity there because what Forest did as well, they banned Spitty and Gary Neville from
today's game.
From today's game because of the shite what they've been spouting on about.
Yeah. That's why the Notts Forest fans were singing Gary Neville is a wanker.
So they must know him personally then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
But let's have it right, Andy, right? Gary Neville said on Sky Sport, he was given a platform in Sky Sports to turn around and say that there's no way in this wild earthly world that Manchester City are making more commercial revenue than Man United. And he just preferred that Man City were cooking the books and Sky Sports give him a platform to do that. Now, will we have the roadies to go after Spitty and to go after character or the Neville and stuff like that? I don't think we will. But as I said earlier in the WhatsApp group, I do think, judging by Calvin's interview and the words he used, that sentence, I'm going to give a very brutal interview when this is done. I do think they have insider information on the Premier League and UEFA. Don't forget, these boys all sit at the same table. So they all know each other's secrets. So it'll be very easy for one to bring down that deck of cards by start spilling the beans. But what annoys me is these fans from other teams, and I'm going on a bit of a rant now, and I know.
Go for it, mate.
They think, say, Liverpool's owners, FSG, Glazers, do they seriously think that people have never, ever, ever exploited any person or any situation? They increased their load, they increased their money. These are the people who want the European Super. Why did they want that? Because there's more money, there's more this, there's more that. So, like, it's just, like they say, footballers are not very bright. A lot of football fans are not very bright either. Not now they know now that financial fair play is not working. All now they're changing it now at the end of the season. Now we're going with UEFA's model of restrictions. So we can, I think it's 70 or 80% of our income. So how is Crystal Palace supposed to compete with us? You can't financially. Like if Crystal Palace are restricted to spending 70 or 80% of their income on players' wages and players buying players and players' wages, they can't compete with the top clubs. So it's just another form of discrimination. Like, it's the only business in the world that I know that you can buy it and put your hard-earned money into it and take it to a different level and make it better, because somebody up there, the red cartel, don't want you near them. They don't want you at that table. Right, I'll take a breath.
I think we have to take a little leaf out of whether we go to town on this on the media, and there are certain members of the media that we can name off the top of our heads that deserve going after. Simon Jordan, for one, but
my mate,
your mate, yeah. But I think there comes a point when we have to take a leaf out of United's book, and it pains me to say it.
I know what you're going to say.
But even this week, any Ten Hag press conference this week, the Evening News, the Sun, and the Mirror were not allowed to ask him any questions. They could be there for the press conference, but they would not. They were not allowed to ask any questions. And I think we have to now start taking a stand with some of these people and start saying, no, you're not coming in, because we're giving them free rein to write whatever they want. They're accepting all our hospitality when they come to our ground.
All our vol-au-vents and blue ketchup.
Yeah, but they're just printing shit about us. I'm sick of the 115 charges thing being thrown against us. It infuriates me, because me as a supporter, it's got absolutely nothing to do with, I support my club. I don't know what goes on in the background of my club, the same way as nobody really knows what goes on in the background of any club. But we're getting tarnished with that brush, and as with a lot of things, it's taking the goodness out of what we've achieved away. And you only need to look at, we were the first team to get 100 points and to break God knows how many records that season, and that the Centurions year does not and has never received the credit it deserves.
Absolutely.
The year we won all 4 domestic trophies, again, Ferguson said it could never be done. We did it, and we never received the credit we deserved for it. This year, all being well, we'll win our 4th Premier League title in a row. That's never been done before.
It comes down to, where is it? There's a comment here somewhere which is there. And Spurs. Yeah. Absolutely spot on. And you know something? And I've said it from the day one on it. It doesn't matter. Not that it'll be a victory for us. We will always be classed as and taking bungs and stuff like that. And that is just out of jealousy. I've come to accept it a long time ago, where we'll be fine. The charges will disappear, not because we've got a brown envelope or anything like that, but more to the fact that it's gone through the proper processes. We've given our evidence to say whatever's gone on, whatever information you've been passed is basically full of shit. I think the Premier League have gone a bit giddy with it from the get-go. And when they've started after they threw the charges, they've started analysing things and gone, hang on a minute, we've dropped a bit of a testicle or two here because XYZ isn't actually true because it should have been ABC. And I think it was just that giddy to try and throw charges at us, not realizing that we would have the ammunition just to go, there you 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 go. So I'm more than confident.
We have already done that. We can't. We've already supplied that documentation. Yeah, we
different charges
charged with non-cooperation. But
different
why should we cooperate? You know, there's no new evidence. There's no new evidence whatsoever. And the Premier League, they save face and they justify. Like, I seen a photograph on social media. Now, I don't know if it was one of them Photoshop jobs, but it was the owners of Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal sitting around a dinner table. They're all American. What were they talking about? I guarantee they weren't talking about what they're having for dinner next week. So, like, unless the Premier League have new evidence, and you can't introduce stolen, hacked emails in the court case.
Exactly, because it's also the equivalent of somebody recording you without your permission when they're interviewing you. It's entrapment as well. So they'll be all
in any police force in the world, any evidence they gather without a warrant cannot be used in a court of law. So the Premier League are trying to use evidence to a hacker who has been criminally prosecuted against us. That's the evidence they're trying to use against us. And then they're accusing multinational companies and government state agencies of taking bribes from us and overinflating sponsorship deals and stuff like that. Well, the best of luck proving that.
Yeah, Andrew says we get 115 daily. It's tiring how can an alleged 1 million to Mancini affect what we've achieved. It's not City's fault. Steve G fell over our pool, lost to Everton, Atlanta and United. Take some ownership, ownership rivals. And you know something? It is all like the rag says here. All you out, it down. It must mean put. It must be from somewhere else. And all you put it down to is jealousy. It is jealousy. Listen, it is jealousy, right? Because we're on track for the 4P to win the Premier League for the 4th time. We're on track to win back-to-back doubles, what's never been done. But apparently, your Messiah, Mark Goldbridge, your Messiah, who you'd all worship, says that it's a farmers' league. Now, look how many times you actually won the league before City got our money and stuff like that. You're telling me it wasn't a farmers' league then? You was buying players like Veron for stupid amounts of money. You bought Camel Gob from Leeds. I think it was something like 38 million back in the day. You've got a history. You've spent, I think, 90 million on the fidget spinner, Anthony. You know, look at all the money what you
won all season.
So listen, we're using our owner's money because he owns a club. You're going out and paying on credit card. So for me, it is down to jealousy. It's no two ways about it.
He better hope the banks don't call them loans in because they're 1.7 billion in debt.
He says proof of innocence. That's not. Listen, I'm a football fan. No. I'm a City fan. It's not down for me to prove innocence. It's not down for Manchester City Football Club to prove their innocence to anybody, especially somebody who's on a City fan channel. Would you want Caldoon now to just hang on? I'll just phone Caldoon. He'll come on and he'll prove it to you. Listen, get a grip. It is down to jealousy, and it's funny. Yeah, it doesn't even wind me up. I actually find it hilarious where you're all in meltdown, you're all combusting because you're all uneducated enough to just be sheep and jump on bandwagons. And it's quite funny, really. It just shows the lack of common sense what you people have got. It's I love it, mate. I love it.
But the onus is not on Innocence, you muppet. The onus is on the Premier League. They prove we're guilty. Everybody has a presumption of innocence going into any court of law. It's not the other way around. You're innocent until you're found guilty, and the onus is on the prosecution to prove you did the crime, not the other way around. And you're not jealous, and you're on a Man City fan channel, and you're not jealous. I could think of better during my Sunday night rather than being on a Manchester United fan channel. So the more
say bye
under your skin.
Right. Should we wave bye-bye to him?
Yeah, wave bye-bye, that muppet.
There we go. So there we go. And that just shows the lack of education. Listen, the average fans like us don't know we don't know the ins and outs of it. I wouldn't even start to pretend that I know what all the charges are, what they mean, and under what sections and what year and la-di-da-di-da. That's not for me. I'm just there to support my football team. I'm not there to go under the nuts and bolts, as you're not, Paddy, as you're not, Anne-Marie, as everybody in the chat is either. We've got people.
It's even worse than Andy now because like we're. I just think like war turning the dinosaurs are like, to be a football fan now you had to be an accountant, a lawyer, this, that, whatever, and then in the game itself, they expect XG. What's that? What is XG? Like, Jesus Christ, better team, yeah, expected to score a lot of goals, yeah. This XG 1.47. What in the under God is that? What's that got to do with football? Throws me off my head.
About time you got some passion, sweet cheeks.
Yeah,
and it is. Listen, I think I'm right in what I'm saying, Anne-Marie. It's not for us to fight the fight of these charges. We've got people who run our football club.
That's their job to sort this out.
Exactly, and it's the jealousy. It's what. Out of curiosity, did it used to get used to down a little bit when it first come out these ways? You think, oh, I'm sick of it. Because it happens all the time now. I actually had a Liverpool fan, I think it was last week, where I keep doing these, what they call memes or whatever now, of Trent Alexander, Terence Trent Derby. Like, it means more
to us, yeah.
Right. So this Liverpool fan said to me, oh, it's getting a bit boring. That's all City fans say now. And I go, so you throw in 115 at us, God knows how many times a day. That's not getting boring. And fair play, he went like, fair dues. And that's the mentality of some of them. I love it. I love the combusting of them all.
I'm personally just looking forward to hearing Khaldoon come out and hear what he's got to say when it is all. When it is all over, because I think he has got stuff to get off his chest that he won't have been able to say until now.
Comment of the night, that section. See, you've even got Paddy laughing now.
I can read from this distance now. I'm not reading up close anymore. You'll never use that cartoon again.
See, I'm confused here now because we've got Martin 40 bucket hats at Wembley, but 8 Glazers both taking their free hat, and then we've got. I thought that was Martin. I'm confused now because I know Martin is the king of Costa Coffee. You see.
Sorry,
strange.
That many.
Says United fans actually think finishing 6th means they should be given the league. Nothing to do with quality of football. And I don't want to talk really about United, but Ten Hag made an interesting comment yesterday that they're one of the most attractive teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, one of the most. Because I want whatever drugs he's on.
Well, I'd say
because
Mr.
you reckon
Temple-
they're one of the most dynamic and entertaining teams. I'm just reading it now. Man United are one of Premier League's most dynamic and entertaining teams. I want whatever drugs that man is on.
To be fair,
there's a
they
big
are very
Man
entertaining
United
for it.
fan here. There's a big Man United fan here in Ireland. He's a journalist, and after comment Ten Hag about exciting, dynamic football, he put it up to caption it, and that diluted beep beep must mean the fans of other teams, because they're certainly not Man United fans he's on about.
To be fair to Ten Bob Hag, he's sort of like right with some of it. They are very entertaining, but it's for rival fans. That's about it, isn't it? Blue Hat says, because they are United, and this is United spoilt brats. Yeah. Stevie says it's a scattergun approach by the Premier League. The worst that will happen is we will always be cheats even when we get off it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. And that's why I say we've just Lauren Emp's just gone close as well for City. That's why we can either let it bother us or we just laugh it off, because whatever we've seen, I never dreamt that we'd see it. So it's just jealousy. DC Bucket Abrogada are a collection of saddos, something like that. So yeah, it's
how far do they want to go with the corruption? Sir Alex Ferguson, tongues right, left, centre. He saw who was a football agent was the biggest crook ever. So he wouldn't talk to the BBC because the BBC exposed his son as a crook. George Graham took bones of that. You know, think how far. And the other thing I want to rant tonight. The other thing that gets on my goat when you hear people, you've no history. What you actually mean is success, but you're using the wrong word, history. Like, we were established in 1894. So, of course, we have history. We mightn't have a success before Sky came along, but we had plenty of success before Sky came along. Like, we won the FA Cup before a lot of teams. We were successful in Europe before a lot of teams. But when they say you don't have history, what they actually mean, you don't have recent success since Sky started pumping money in 1992. And you're able to buy Camel Hump for 38 million and Shrek for 50 million and Varane for 50 million, and you sold him a couple of years after because he was red raw useless. They kind of
what would be funny? Do you know what would be funny? Well, sort of quite funny against the Rags, that we get at the end of the season we get deducted 20 points. We'd still finish above them. And that's actually a fact. No, it's just funny. Stevie says all we can say, Andy, is that we have been told we are innocent by the club, so we have to believe them until any different. Until we know any different. Totally, mate. And that's what I keep saying. You know, it's almost like Khaldoon was gone close again there. It's almost like Khaldoon is just like, please hurry up because I'm like a kid at Christmas and I want to bring everything out in the open and absolutely blow you away. But
that's the thing, Andy. Khaldoon is a world-class businessman. He is known all over the world because he's Sheikh's representative all over the world. Do you think he's going to sit in a chair and proclaim our innocence and then turn around and say, when this is over, I'm going to give a brutal interview, knowing there might be a 5 or 10% chance or less of being found guilty? That ain't going to happen. He knows we're innocent. Otherwise, you can be the laughingstock around the world, never mind the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Khaldoon is embracing it. He's not. If you was worried, you'd put a statement out on the lines of we're not allowed to comment on it. We'll comment in due course. But Khaldoon was going, come on, bring it on. Listen, it does need to come to a conclusion, though, Anne-Marie, doesn't it?
Because it's getting, it's beyond a joke now.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Andrew there. Tonight does need a 10-year contract extension.
Absolutely. But like them 115 charges, they're like death by 1,000 cuts. You know, like I don't know, like 115 charges that are going to have to be dealt with totally independently. You can't group them charges in together. Each charge is an actual case itself. So that's 115 cases. I'll be fucking dead and buried by the time we get to the end of it.
Yeah. No, it's just staggering how much hate there is against little old City. You know, considering we used to be everybody's favourite second club and stuff like that, and now we're mixing it up with the so-called big boys. But it's the big boys themselves what are actually the so-called big boys what are absolutely quaking in the boots because of not just what we've done, but the potential for us to carry on the domination and stuff like that. So listen, it's all good for it. Yeah, I think we accept that Pep will be gone after his contract ends in 2025. I think that is nailed on, to be fair. However, he's going to have a say on who's coming in, not only who's coming in, but how things, recruitment and stuff like that as well. I don't think Pep will just disappear, to be honest. I think he'll have some sort of like say in the club.
I think Pep will extend again.
Yeah, I think he's addicted to the Premier League, Andy. I think he's addicted.
Keith says we've qualified mathematically for the Champions League. Oh, City 1-0 up. Just scored now. I don't know who scored. Oh, it's the Aussie.
Fowler.
Yeah. That's a good. Where does that leave us now, Anne-Marie, by the way?
Top of the league. But I think Chelsea have got 2 games in hand on us.
Mm-hmm.
So
great goal, that, to be fair. Great goal, that. DC says, Andy, we could get relegated to League 2 and we'd still work our way back up before the ranks ever win the Premier League. True story. In fact, that's my new favourite quote of the night, that. But yeah, it's all good. So what's that, Anne-Marie? That'll be 2 games. They'll have 2 games in hand.
Yeah, they play one, I think, on Tuesday night. And I'm not sure because they got knocked out of Europe yesterday.
Yeah, that'll put us on 50. That'll put us on 52 points. With 20 games gone. Chelsea with 18 games gone are on 46.
Yeah, it's the goal difference that's going to make the difference at the minute. But obviously, we're without Bunny for the rest of the season.
Has she got an injury? I've seen somebody in the comments there.
Yeah, she, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they've actually confirmed it, but I think she broke her foot last week. So we're without her for the rest of the season.
That's a shame, that, isn't it?
It is, but then the good news is Lauren Hemp extended a contract this week.
Has she?
Yeah, she has.
There was talk about going to Barcelona, wasn't there, in the summer?
Yeah, but we've managed to tie her down for another season or 2.
That's great news. That. So yeah, so it's all good. Get these charges put to bed once and for all. As that thing what's hanging over us, we'll always be known as cheats. Doesn't bother us. Nearly another one there, which doesn't bother us. Great result, but not performance today. So it's not been a bad weekend, is it?
Well, it was topped off with Salah having a go with fucking buck teeth.
Yeah, that was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. It's all's not well at Liverpool, but they're out of it now anyway. So,
and this new manager they're supposed to be getting, I've never heard of him.
You hear of him every time you have a cold or a flu. It's not.
Yes, but if you listen to Liverpool fans now, he's the best thing ever. Yeah, I'd never heard of him till this week.
Paddy, that's disgusting.
Salah gave up somebody.
Do you know something? There's a lot of truth in what Super City says there. Only for Mo Salah, Klopp wouldn't have, achieved achieved the little stuff what he's achieved in his 9-year reign. So
that's the other thing I have to laugh at. Liverpool fans, they all clap and the success and this and that. What's he done? One league, one Champions League, and an FA Cup, is it, or something? In 9 years. Like,
and don't get the Mickey Mouse Cup this season.
Of that. So that's a trophy now, apparently.
Yeah. Arne Slot better than Pep already. Yeah, and you know something. That's what you'll get. They'll be like, oh, when Klopp needed to go. La-di-da-di-da. Listen, we don't need to worry about them. Right. Anything else before we go? Before we skedaddle?
Yep.
No.
As always, thank you for joining us, guys. Arne Slot will be back. Thank you to everybody, as always, in the chat. It is always a pleasure, never a chore, as I always say. And is to next Saturday, when we play Wolves at home. We could be 4 points behind again, because we played later. We played 5 o'clock, is it? Or something like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Kicking off.
But a very, very good victory.
An important 3 points today. That's the most important thing.
It is. And it's great to see everybody in the chat as well. Apologies for last week. We had a few issues, but we're all back. And I thought we scored again, man. We're all back. And hopefully next week we will have the return. Who will be returning next week?
Return of the match.
Stanley!
So Stan will be joined next week with myself, Anne-Marie and Paddy. So all good in the hood. Listen, thanks everybody for joining us. And God Blue Art, Youth Cup final against Leeds on May the 10th.
Yeah, it's at the Etihad as well, isn't it?
Yes. So, yeah, I might get down to that. Oh, the 10th I can't. I'm in Berrydome. Yeah. But luckily for you, I won't be joining a stream because I'm going in the week. I'll be back on the Friday night, Saturday morning. So,
there you go. Listen, we can breathe a sigh of relief, Paddy.
You can. Thanks for everybody who's joined us, and we will do it again next Sunday. Have a great week, all.
Take care, everyone.